Hello. Really great to be here. My name is Raul Potisepp. I'm from Estonia. And today I'm going to share my journey with Eleport, essentially how to build up a sustainable company. And also I'm going to be sharing some of the, some of the mistakes that I made and my team made, and hope that at least somebody can learn from it. All good things start in garage, EVs and startups alike. We actually started our company as renting electric cars to taxi drivers in Estonia back in 2016. Back then, the electric car charging was subsidized, so it cost only €1 per 100 kilometers, which is amazingly cheap. And everyone was telling how expensive EVs are and how bad they are and how ridiculous. But actually, we started to look into secondhand EVs, and they weren't as expensive at all. So this is how Eleport started. Back in the day, these are the guys that started Eleport a few years ago, actually more than 7.5 years ago. And I think without these guys, I wouldn't be standing here, and we wouldn't have a company. So they were the guys who believed in something that really at the time didn't exist. In 2016, I don't know, who thought of buying an electric car in 2016? Can you give your, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 5, 6 people in the room. So, I mean, you guys are pioneers and the EV freaks. So, huge respect for you. Anyways, we had also some of the guys who were freaks like me. I also always tell the story how if I'm traveling from my town Tallinn to southern Estonia, it took me 4 charging sessions with average, instead of 4 hours trip, it was 6.5 hours trip. And my girlfriend made all these trips with me. I'm so grateful that she's still with me today. So today, EVs and actually electromobility and the batteries have made through a tremendous development. And this is why now we're seeing so many EVs on the streets. Batteries are getting cheaper. Companies are building more and more EV models. We are here to solve the classical chicken and egg problem. EVs need to charge somewhere. And we in Eleport, we're building a network of chargers. At the moment, we're active in 4 countries, in the Baltics as well as Poland. And my dream is that in a few years' time, we can, or any of us can drive from Tallinn to Berlin using only Eleport chargers. It's a lot of work to be done. But yeah, Eleport is on a mission. Since day one, this mission hasn't changed, actually. We are here to accelerate the transition from fossil fuels to renewables to limit climate change. And electric cars are actually one good way how to move away from fossil fuels. When I started in 2016, then 99.9% of the fuels in transportation sector were from fossil fuels, and only 0.1 is renewable. So we have a huge challenge actually in this transportation sector to move away from fossil fuels to renewables. And of course, you might say that, okay, but electricity isn't green as well, right? So we at Eleport, we have always provided 100% renewable energy by buying the certificates from renewable energy producers. So statistically, we can say that we're using renewable energy in our charging network. Quickly, our story. We started 7.5 years ago under the name of electric transport. A few years later, we decided to cut the middle part, and Eleport was much better. So you see that in the first years, actually, the team grew very slow. It was 2 people, 3 people, 5 people. So this was like the classical startup stage where we were just 2 guys and a dog, and 2 of us were sharing one table at a co-working space. Back in 2019, actually, electromobility started to take off, and we saw we need to attract capital, and we were really lucky to attract one of the, I think, most known Estonian family offices or VCs called Ambient Sun Investments, who were owned by Skype co-founders. So with these investors on board, it was already much easier than, much easier is too much to say, but it was easier to attract further funding as well. We were sort of the pioneers of electromobility in the Baltics. So we installed the first modern chargers in Estonia. Then we installed the first hypercharger of the Baltics, and our plans grew. And then in 2021 we entered Latvian market, and also in 2022-21 there was one interesting story how a lot of companies went public. So they did the IPOs. We also had a plan of doing the IPO, since it was a good way, considered a good way to raise funds. And we had everything prepared. I think we have the press conference in the next morning, and then the evening before, one of the guys from Bolt, the mobility company, Bolt, called me and said, like, okay, guys, please cancel your IPO. We would like to invest into Eleport. And so, this is why Eleport has never went public. Then we attracted some funding from Bolt, and also Bolt helped us to find huge investors like Partners Group, which is one of the biggest infrastructure funds in the world, with huge amounts of assets. And in their portfolio, there was a company called Gren, who is now the majority shareholder of Eleport. Then last year, I think, and this year has been the most successful yet. You could see the team has been expanding. There's a lot of, the numbers of EVs are picking up. So it's really actually now we're in the beginning of a successful journey. And next year, we want to become number 3 charging network in Poland already. So there has been a lot of work done for that. So maybe now coming to the lessons that I'd like to share. You as maybe you can learn from it. So what we did, we divided the company with 4 founders equally, 25. You should never do it, if you ask me. There's always people who are putting more effort, more time, more energy, maybe more money into the company. There's also different skills level. So I would suggest that you would argue about the skills, how much energy everybody puts in the company, and divide it by accordingly. In our case, it was me working full-time, and the other 2 were completely passive founders, and one guy was working like half-time. So I think that was, looking back, that was not very fair. So I think always consider this, don't divide equity equally. Then don't hesitate to make difficult decisions, and rather make the difficult decisions rather sooner than later. If you see that there's a person in the team that really shouldn't be there, or if you see that we shouldn't be on this market or that market, or we shouldn't be on this business line or that, then I suggest, my experience again is that the more quicker you make the difficult decision, the better for you. And you look only in from the past, you can realize that you should have made the difficult decision. And also, next point is hire people with gravity. If you're a startup company, then nobody knows you. You have to start from the scratch. There's no reputation. So if you hire people who have done something already, and these guys join your company, then you start to attract a lot of investor attention as well. And so make sure everyone who is someone knows about what you're doing. What we in Eleport did wrong for a few years is that we did not pay attention to marketing and like being present in the public. We did our own thing. We thought we're doing the right thing. Why we should shout out at each corner. But again, if you want to attract capital, if you want to be visible, then definitely get yourself a marketing PR person in the early stages and think about the story. And of course, the growth is such a messy process. You cannot predict the future. I liked how somebody said that it's not about whether you can predict the future. It's about just being better in predicting the future than your competitors. So you don't have to be right. You just have to make less mistakes. So how to become faster and stronger? Set crazy goals. Back in 2018, when we were literally 2 man and a dog company, we set ourselves a target that we want to be the biggest charging network in 3 years' time. And that was nothing to do with reality at that time. But 3 years later, actually, we were one of the biggest in the Baltics in a sector where you have amazingly big companies competing against you. I don't know. The ambition level, it's the crazier goals you set, the bigger achievements you can expect in the future. Focus on the story and value creation. So the story part is very important. How you sell the company. When going through a lot of investors, then they receive usually daily, I don't know, whatever is it, I don't know, 5, and weekly, I don't know, tens of applications for funding. So you have to somehow stand out, and this is where the story is, not only the Excels, but how you stand out and what is your story. Why should somebody invest into you? Find great advisors, but don't always do what they say. So I think it's really important that you have somebody who's been through and who has the experience to guide and mentor you. They don't have to be specifically in the same area that you're in, but I think it's very essential that you have some coaches or mentors or advisors. And also, you are the person or the team who knows the best about your company. So, if they suggest something that you think it's BS, then of course have the confidence to do your own way, not to listen always to advisors, but most of the time they can provide really good feedback. Expect for the best, prepare for the worst. Always have plan B and C. This is again, like during the 7.5 years of Eleport, having a plan B has that means that today I'm here still talking about my company, because in the meanwhile we could have gone bankrupt a couple of times, and just to think about like a spare option is absolute must. I would really suggest that if you don't have the plan B, then things can get difficult. Step number 5, it's easy. Plan and repeat. Set crazy goals. Setting crazy goals. Eleport wants to be the biggest charging network in Central and Eastern European markets, with more than 100,000 chargers by 2030. We have today about 400 chargers, so it's very just a small amount of number of chargers that still need to be added to Eleport network. But again, it's about the ambition, setting the ambition levels and ambition and ambitious targets. Okay, so that was all from my side. We at Eleport, we are really powering the change from fossil fuels to renewables. And yeah, if you have any questions, then me and my colleagues will be at Eleport or walking around here. Thanks a lot.